I just deleted ChatGPT from my browser. After 2 years of using it every single day, I finally did it. And before you think I've lost my mind, let me show you something that's about to flip the entire AI game on its head. This right here, this is Google Gemini 3.0 Flash, and it just made every other AI model look slow, expensive, and honestly, kind of outdated. Look, I get it. You're probably thinking, oh great, another AI model launch. What's the big deal? But here's what nobody's talking about. While everyone was busy arguing about whether ChatGPT 5 would ever come out, Google just pulled off the biggest power move in AI history. They didn't just release a competitor, they completely changed the rules of the game. And I'm not being dramatic here. I spent the last 3 weeks testing this thing against ChatGPT, Claude, and every other model out there. The results? They're honestly shocking. By the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly why the AI landscape just shifted under our feet. And more importantly, you'll know whether you should make the switch too. But first, let me tell you the story of how Google went from AI punching bag to absolutely crushing the competition overnight. Point 1. The comeback story nobody saw coming. Remember 2023? Google was getting absolutely roasted online. OpenAI launched ChatGPT and basically owned the AI conversation. Meanwhile, Google was over there launching Bard, which, let's be real, was kind of a disaster at first. People were making memes about how bad it was. Tech Twitter was brutal. But here's what was happening behind the scenes that nobody noticed. Sergey Brin, one of Google's co-founders, worth over $150 billion, came out of retirement. And he didn't come back to sit in board meetings and sip fancy coffee. No, this guy literally started writing code again. Think about that for a second. A man who could buy a private island and never work another day in his life chose to come back and write code because AI was that important. And when he came back, everything changed. Google flipped a switch. They went from, we're just another company trying to catch up, to full-on wartime mode. The entire culture shifted. Engineers started shipping updates at startup speed. The bureaucracy that made Google slow, it started melting away. And now we have Gemini 3.0 Flash. This isn't just another incremental update. This is Google saying, we're done playing catch up. Here's how we're going to win. Point 2, the tech that changes everything. So what actually makes Gemini 3.0 Flash different? Let me break this down in a way that actually matters to you. Not just specs and numbers that sound impressive but mean nothing. First, speed. And I'm not talking about, oh, it's a little faster. I'm talking about responses that pop up almost instantly. Like, you finish typing your prompt and boom, it's already giving you an answer. It feels less like talking to a computer and more like having a conversation with someone who actually thinks fast. I tested this side by side with ChatGPT. Same prompts, same tasks. Gemini 3.0 Flash was consistently faster. Not by a little, by a lot. We're talking responses that came back in half the time. But speed alone? That's not the killer feature. Here's what really matters: multimodal understanding. See, most AI models are good at one thing. ChatGPT is great with text. Other models handle images okay, but they're kind of like specialists who only know how to do one job really well. Gemini 3.0 Flash? It's like that person who's somehow good at everything. You can throw text at it, images, even video, and it just gets it. And it understands how they all connect together. I uploaded a photo of a handwritten note, asked it to read it, summarize it, and then create a professional email based on what it said. It did all three perfectly. First try, no confusion, no weird mistakes. That's the kind of thing that used to require 3 different tools. Now it's just one prompt. And here's the crazy part that nobody's talking about. Google is giving this away with insane limits. While ChatGPT is telling you, sorry, you've hit your message limit for the next 4 hours, Gemini just keeps going. Why? Because Google owns the entire stack. They make their own chips, their own infrastructure. They don't have to rent expensive NVIDIA GPUs like everyone else. So they can afford to be generous with limits while their competitors are nickel and dimming you. Point 3, the price that breaks the industry. Let's talk money for a second, because this is where things get really interesting. Right now, if you want access to the best AI tools, you're probably paying for multiple subscriptions, right? ChatGPT Plus for $20 a month. Maybe you've got Claude Pro for another $20. Possibly Cursor for coding, Perplexity for research. Before you know it, you're spending $70, $80, maybe $100 a month just to access AI tools. Google looked at that situation and said, what if we just bundled everything? With Gemini Advanced, which costs about $20 a month, here's what you get. Access to Gemini 3.0 Flash and Pro. Full stop. That's already competitive. But wait, there's more. You also get 2 terabytes of Google Drive storage. That alone is worth $10 a month if you were buying it separately. YouTube Premium with no ads. That's another $12 a month. Gemini built into Gmail, Docs, Sheets, everything. You're not copying and pasting between apps anymore. The AI just lives where you already work. Oh, and credits for all of Google's experimental AI tools. Things like Imagen for creating images, Notebook LM for research, all of it. Add that all up. The value is absolutely insane. We're talking about what would normally cost you $60 to $80 a month minimum, all for $20. And this isn't some introductory pricing that'll skyrocket later. Google can afford to keep this price because they're playing a different game. They're not trying to make money from AI subscriptions. They're trying to win back market share and lock people into their ecosystem. For us, that's actually perfect. We get incredible value while they fight for dominance. Point 4, the integration that makes it unstoppable. Here's where Gemini 3.0 Flash becomes borderline unfair compared to the competition. You know how when you're using ChatGPT, you have to constantly copy-paste things? Like, you're working in Google Docs, you need help with a paragraph. So you copy it, switch to ChatGPT, paste it, get a response. Copy that, go back, paste it again, that's over. With Gemini, you just highlight text in Google Docs and ask it to rewrite, summarize, whatever you need. It's right there. It sees what you see. It has full context of your document. Same thing in Gmail. You're reading an email, you can just say, draft a professional response to this, and it'll write it in the same thread. No app switching, no context loss. I didn't realize how much mental overhead all that switching was creating until I stopped doing it. It's like someone removed a weight from my shoulders I didn't even know was there. And it gets better. Because Google owns YouTube, when you're using Notebook LM, which is Google's research tool powered by Gemini, you can paste a YouTube video link and it actually understands the content, not just the transcript. It understands what's happening in the video. This is something OpenAI literally cannot do because they don't own YouTube. They don't have that data. They're on the outside trying to look in. Google is playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers. And if you're someone who wants to learn how to actually leverage all these AI tools to make money, not just use them for fun, I built a free community where we share exactly that. Real strategies, breaking news about AI, and what's actually working as we head into 2026. Links in the description. No fluff, just people learning and growing together. Point 5. The developer tools that seal the deal. Now, if you're not a developer, stick with me here because this still affects you. Google just launched something called anti-gravity. It's their answer to Cursor, which has been the king of AI coding tools. But anti-gravity isn't trying to be just as good as Cursor. They're trying to completely reinvent how we build software. Instead of you writing code line by line while AI helps, anti-gravity is built around AI agents. You basically describe what you want to build, and autonomous agents go off and build it for you. You're not writing code anymore. You're managing a team of AI workers. This sounds like sci-fi, but it's real and it's available now. And here's the kicker. It works with Gemini models, but it also supports Claude. So Google built a tool that's so good, they're confident it'll win even when you use their competitor's AI inside it. That's confidence. For people who aren't coders, this matters because it means the barrier to building software just dropped to basically zero. You don't need to learn Python or JavaScript anymore. You just need to be able to clearly explain what you want. That's a complete shift in how technology gets made. Point 6. The experiments that show the future. Google is doing something really smart that nobody's talking about enough. They're releasing experimental tools constantly. Like every week there's something new to play with. There's Whisk, which lets you upload images of a subject, a scene, and a style, and it remixes them into something completely new. Then you can animate it or refine it further. It's like Photoshop and After Effects had a baby that's powered by AI. There's Veo, their video generation tool. You can bring in assets, write prompts, and literally direct a video using voice commands. It's like having a film crew in your computer. And these aren't half-baked beta features that barely work. These are genuinely impressive tools that feel like they're from 2030, not 2025. But here's the thing about experiments. Some of them will get killed. That's Google's reputation, right? They launch products and then shut them down 18 months later when they don't hit 1 billion users. And that's a real risk. If you fall in love with one of these tools, there's a chance it disappears. That's the trade-off for being on the bleeding edge. But honestly, I think it's worth it because the tools that do survive become the foundation for how we'll all work in the future. And if you're learning them now, you're going to have a massive advantage. Point 7. The real-world results that matter. Let me show you what this actually looks like in practice. I've been using Gemini 3.0 Flash as my main AI for everything. Writing scripts, researching topics, analyzing data, brainstorming ideas, coding small tools, even helping me respond to emails faster. Here's what I've noticed. My workflow is about 30% faster. That's not an exaggeration. I timed it. Tasks that used to take an hour now take about 40 minutes. That adds up fast. The quality of outputs is consistently high. With ChatGPT, I sometimes had to regenerate responses multiple times to get what I wanted. With Gemini, I'm getting usable results on the first or second try most of the time. And I'm hitting limits way less often. ChatGPT would stop me mid-workflow and say, "Come back in 3 hours." Gemini just doesn't. I haven't hit a hard limit yet. For someone running a business or trying to create content consistently, that's massive. You can't afford to have your AI tools tap out in the middle of your workday. Point 8, the honest drawbacks you need to know. Okay, let's pump the brakes for a second, because I'm not going to sit here and pretend Gemini 3.0 Flash is perfect. It's not. There are some real issues you should know about before you make the switch. First, the Google ecosystem can be confusing. They have Gemini, Gemma, Vertex AI, AI Studio, Google Cloud AI. Which one do you use? When? It's not always clear. Google needs to clean this up. Second, some features feel corporate and overprotected. There are more safety disclaimers and content filters than competitors. Google is being extra careful not to create a PR disaster, which I get, but sometimes it makes the tool feel less flexible than ChatGPT. Third, and this is the big one, Google kills products. They have a graveyard of discontinued services that people loved. If you go all in on a Google tool, there's always that risk it gets shut down. That's the bet you're making. You're trading cutting-edge features and great pricing for a platform that might change or disappear. For me, I think it's worth the risk, but you have to decide for yourself. Point 9, the verdict. Who should switch? So after everything, here's my honest take on who should consider switching to Gemini 3.0 Flash. You should switch if you're tired of hitting message limits every day. If you need AI that works across images, text, and video seamlessly. If you want the best value for your money. If you're already using Google Workspace and want everything integrated. You should probably stick with ChatGPT if you're doing very specialized tasks where ChatGPT has plugins you rely on. If you're in a workflow that's built entirely around OpenAI's ecosystem. Or if you just prefer the way ChatGPT thinks and you're not having issues with it. Both are great tools, but the landscape has shifted. Google isn't the underdog anymore. They're a legitimate threat, and Gemini 3.0 Flash proves they're not messing around. Here's what I want you to take away from this. The AI race isn't over. It's just getting started, and Google just reminded everyone that they're not dead. They're awake, they're motivated, and they have resources nobody else can match. ChatGPT changed the world by making AI accessible to everyone. That's not going away. But Gemini 3.0 Flash just proved that the next chapter of AI isn't about who got there first. It's about who can keep innovating, who can offer the most value, and who can actually build tools that fit into the way we really work. I'm not saying ChatGPT is dead, I'm saying the monopoly is over, and competition makes everything better for us. So here's what I'm doing. I'm running a 90-day experiment. No ChatGPT, no Cursor, no Claude, just Google's AI ecosystem. I want to see if this is real or if I'll be crawling back. I'll update you with the results. The good, the bad, the frustrating, all of it. If you want to follow along with that experiment and see exactly how I'm using AI to build, create, and optimize everything in real time, you know where to find me. The community link is below, and if you learned something new today, hit that like button. It actually helps more people find videos like this. Subscribe if you want to stay ahead of the AI curve, because one thing's for sure, this technology is moving fast, and the people who learn it now are going to have opportunities in 2026 that others won't even see coming. Thanks for watching. Now go test Gemini 3.0 Flash yourself, and let me know what you think. See you in the next one.